her position before she visited. She didn't want to appear to be an overprotective mother, even if she was. Actually, this appointment to the Queen's court would be the second golden opportunity for Rebecca that mother and daughter had extensively discussed. The first had arisen 5 years ago, when they were in complete agreement on their first choice for Rebecca's future husband. No need for a seasonal launch if she could catch his eye, and was a neighbour too, Raphael Locke, the Duke of Norfolk's heir. So convenient. But the esteemed fellow had up and married someone else before Rebecca was old enough to put herself forward, and that had ended that. Such a shame. She had been looking forward to being a part of that interesting family. Preston Locke, the Duke, had 5 sisters, all married and living elsewhere now, but they often returned to Norfolk for visits. Lily had told stories about the days when most of those ladies had still lived at home, and how the Lockes had quite dominated the local society, and in fact some of the grander parties Rebecca had attended had been at Norfolk Hall when she was a child. She had almost got closer to that family when she became friends with the youngest daughter of the house, Amanda Locke. It was too bad they had lost touch with each other after Amanda was sent off to private school. The Duke hadn't entertained much after that, because it was only him and his elderly mother in that big house. His wife had died years ago, and while every available lady in the neighbourhood had probably tried to catch his eye over the years, he remained a widower. But Ophelia Locke did the entertaining there now, the woman who had captured Raphael's heart before Rebecca could. 2 lost opportunities in that illustrious family, a best friend and a husband. But this new opportunity was upon her, a maid of honour at Queen Victoria's court. Rebecca knew all the benefits. Holding the position was comparable to attending the most elite finishing school in the world. She'd be meeting the most important people in England, and royalty from across the continent. There was no reason to wait for a season if you were part of a court with a queen who loved to entertain. If Rebecca was lucky, the Queen might even have a hand in picking her future husband. Anything was possible. Miraculously, Rebecca's wardrobe was finished in time for her departure to London, and was much grander than it would have been for a mere season. Lily had spared no expense, and she accompanied Rebecca and her maid Flora to London. It wasn't the first time Rebecca was seeing London. There had been a few shopping excursions over the years. A horse race Lily just had to attend, since the sire of her mare was racing that day. The wedding of an old friend Lily had been invited to, and of course Rebecca had joined her on all of those trips. But this was the first time she was seeing Buckingham Palace. There had been no reason to visit it before, when no monarchs had made it their home until now. Alighting from the coach with her mother and Flora, Rebecca stood there in awe of the grand structure that she would be living in for months, possibly years. It was so much bigger than she had imagined. Even the marble arch of the ceremonial entrance was stories high. Palace guards were marching nearby in their brightly coloured uniforms. Other people passed under the huge arch that Rebecca would be walking through. Her feet wouldn't move. Nervousness nearly overwhelmed her. She already knew Lily wasn't going to escort her inside, but she wasn't ready to say goodbye. She'd never had to say goodbye to her mother before, not like this. Lily took her hand and squeezed it. She understood. In that simple gesture, she gave Rebecca courage. "Your father would have been so proud had he lived to see this." Rebecca glanced at her mother. It was a poignant moment. Lily was so happy for her daughter, and yet she was no doubt recalling her own missed opportunities. It was in her expression, close to tears, yet smiling. "You 2 aren't going to cry, are you?" Flora asked in a complaining tone. Lily laughed. Rebecca managed a grin. Flora was good at relieving tension with her candour. Unfortunately, Flora wouldn't be living in the palace with Rebecca. She would only stay long enough today to get Rebecca settled in. They both knew that Rebecca wasn't going to get a room to herself. There simply weren't enough rooms for all the members of the court, let alone for their servants. So Lily had rented a flat for Flora nearby.